Hey everybody, I got another video here for you. So this time it's this guy's behind me. It's a Samsung washing machine. What I want to do is, this is actually mine, but I wanted to show you how to clean out the sump in these things, because that's something you should be doing probably every 6 months, and people really aren't. So most of the calls I get for washers nowadays is either the washer leaking because that the boot that's just in behind here has a hole in it, or the washer won't drain. So things get stuck down into the filter and they plug it up, or the filter plugs up so much that whatever's down there bypasses that filter and gets into the drain pump. Once it gets into the drain pump, yeah, that's usually it for the drain pump. So to save you having to replace a drain pump, I will show you how to do this. All right, so this is what we're going to need to do this. You don't necessarily need 2 buckets like this. I just like to have 2, so if this one gets full, I can empty it into this one and not have to run to drain it all the time. And just an old dirty towel. So what we're going to do is open this little door here on the bottom. Somewhere on this other side, just depends on the model that you have, but so these little tabs here, you don't need a screwdriver or anything, but this left side, the tabs are a little smaller, so they'll just pull right out. Takes a little force. You don't necessarily have to take this off. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. But so what we have in here is this drain hose. So this is where we're going to drain all the water into our little buckets. Okay, so this is how I like to do this. So put the towel, tuck it under the machine. We can put our bowl on top of here. I'll move you guys back just a little bit. Okay. So yeah, pull off this little plug that's on the end. It takes a little bit, it's a fairly tight fit. And then we will drain it into our bucket. I'll save you having to sit here for a couple minutes watching water drain. So I'll get back to you when this is done. All right, so we got it all drained out. So put the plug back into the hose. Make sure it goes on all the way so we're not ending up with leaks or something later. So we can tuck that back up. Now, I'm going to turn this filter out. You want to spin it counterclockwise. But what I do now is tuck the towel underneath this cap. I jam a whole bunch under there. So when I spin this out, it will leak a little bit out of there. So that's the only reason I kind of jammed it under there. And as it's leaking, I pull it back just a little bit so it doesn't get too soaked in one spot on the towel. And that's it. So yeah, filter's pretty clean. When you clean it out that often, it's usually pretty clean. But you want to stop, coins and bobby pins and things like that from getting in there, because that will destroy the machine. So I'm just going to dry a little bit more of this stuff that's in here, and then I can move this towel kind of out of the way. All right, so maybe we'll just leave that there for a minute. Okay, so what you want to do is look inside this hole also and make sure that there's nothing jammed in there. Take a flashlight and look to that back portion there where that hole is, and just make sure that nothing's stuck in there. Of course, if anything's stuck in the filter, you can wash out the filter and everything. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So now I can put the filter back in now that we've cleaned out anything that's in there, which is kind of nice that nothing was in there. That's exactly what you want. So what we're going to need to do now is run an actual little bit of a test just to make sure that there's no leaks coming from here or nothing like that. When you put this filter cap back on, there's a little arrow here. I know you can't really see it, but you'll see it on yours. That arrow points up. But usually you spin that filter in, it's pretty tight. But get it all the way on, and then that's why we do the little rinse test, is just to make sure that it's actually all the way on, because if it's not, it will leak. So I'll just take you up top here. All right, so everybody's washer is probably going to look a little different. This is just what this one looks like, but they're all essentially the same kind of deal. For this purpose, I'm running it on hot. The spin speed and stuff like that don't really matter because I'm only going to be running it for a couple minutes. But that hot will help clean out anything else that might be down there. So when we start it up, you can hear that filter kick in. That's the actual drain pump kick in. It'll sound a little weird just because it has no water in it right now. So it's just running with, I guess, air. So it'll fill here in a sec. And then we can look right down at the bottom of this filter. That's where any leaks will come out if we didn't put that cap back on tight enough. Also, you can look at this hose. More or less just lay it on the ground and let it fill. And yeah, you'll see drips or anything coming out of it if for some reason it wasn't all put back together tight enough. So we'll let this fill and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we let it fill up. It's doing its wash thing. So that's generally all the amount of water we would need in there to test for a leak. So yeah, I've already taken my flashlight and everything and looked around here. There's nothing coming out of there, nothing coming out of that hose. Next thing we want to do is put it under, I guess, a little bit of pressure. It's not overly pressurized or anything like that. But what we'll do is put it into a drain and spin. But if you'll notice, these washers don't have that option. So what we're gonna have to do is we can pause that, turn it off. Sometimes some people's machines will drain right here, and that's all right. That's what we want to do anyway. But if it doesn't, turn it back on. And I know it's hard to read. This should say spin. So we'll hold that button. It'll change to 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. Let's start that. And then back down here and check for leaks again. And we got nothing happening there, which is good. That's exactly what we want. So either you can let this run through its actual spin cycle. You don't necessarily need to, but now we've rinsed it out with all the water that was in there, and it was all hot water too, which is kind of nice. So we can stop this cycle, and always make sure to open the door after the cycle's done, just so everything in here can dry out. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so just another little, I guess, note from down here. So these are the tabs on that thing I was talking about. So the right side is quite a bit bigger of a notch there. So if you hook the right side in first, and then just push that left side in, it'll go in. And close that up, and we're done. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. That's yeah, how you clean out the filter on these Samsung washers. It's a very easy thing. With filming and everything, I think it took me like 14 minutes. So without farting around with the camera and stuff like that, you can probably do this in about 10 minutes. But it'll save you $300-400 in repairs to replace a pump. So yeah, like I said, thanks for watching. Let's get some more comments. Let me know if you attempted this on your washer and how it went. Hit that like button, definitely helps. And get some more subscribers. I think we're currently sitting at about 1,800. So yeah, let's get that up to, well, at least 2,000. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.